Hey, this is Aaron the Metal Theologian here, and this is my response to Dave from the Vinyl Vault contest, 100 subs contest. Congratulations on that. I kind of just discovered you, but I've enjoyed what I've seen so far, and I love the idea for a contest. So I'm kind of in this more for the laughs and for the opportunity to show off album covers in the contest itself, but I hope you get a kick out of some of these. What I've decided to do is, instead of just picking 5 covers that are things that I just think are really cool looking covers, because I don't know, man, that would be impossible. And I saw some other people did 10 or whatever, but even that, forget it, man. There's no way I could narrow that shit down. So what I did was pull out 5 of my favorite gimmick covers, and I'm going to go ahead and bust these out, and hopefully it'll be worth a couple of grins. Now, there's one notable omission for people who've already seen some of my previous videos, and that's my Pig record is not in the stack. I kind of wanted to bring it back because it got such a good response, but I already showed that one, so I'm leaving that bad boy out. So let's get started right down to business here. These first 2 are actually reissues, surprisingly. Someone took the trouble to reissue these in their original form, but the first I'm going to show is the first record by 9 Days Wonder. And Long Hair Music out of Germany actually took the trouble to reissue this with the foam rubber cover. I don't know how well you can see that in the thing. Has a gatefold cover. The inside is just the cardboard. There's a page in there too, actually. It's pretty amazing. But if you see that, you press on that, it's fucking foam rubber is what it is. So I've never had an original of this in my hands. I do know somebody who owns one, but when I visited him, I didn't want to impose on him to bust it out, because apparently the originals of these things from 1971 or whenever it came out are pretty much all disintegrating. It's a very cool record, even if you don't manage to get it with this cover. It's kind of a German prog rock thing, which is tends to be pretty different in spirit from the English stuff. As is a lot of stuff, even though the English kind of have the most well-known bands with Genesis and Yes and stuff like that. This record actually owes a fair bit to Frank Zappa to my ears, and I like it a lot. So the next one is another reissue. It was an Italian prog band, and if you haven't listened to much Italian prog, comparing that to English prog is sort of like comparing Benjamin Britten to Verdi. It's like the Italian shit is just so over the top and so extreme. But this is one of my favorite bands because they don't forget to rock. And this is Io Come Io, if I'm pronouncing it right, by Il Rovescio della Medaglia. And what's kind of amazing about this one, keep a piece of cardboard in front of it to protect it. But this actually has this weird medallion on the surface of the record there. Let's see if I can make it a little more clear. If you open up the gatefold, maybe you can see that a little better. That's actually pasted on there. And again, this is a reissue. I'm not quite sure who it was in Italy who took the trouble to reissue this in this super elaborate packaging. It's probably one of the most expensive reissues I've bought, but it's a fantastic record. It actually gets 2 enthusiastic thumbs up. If I were going to recommend 5 Italian records, this would easily be way up there. So that's the next one, and by the way, that thing is backwards, that stamp stuff on the original. As you can see, the lettering is backwards. That's not my camera doing a mirror image thing, that's just how it is. Alright, the next one, this is kind of outside of my usual comfort zone, but I do like this record a lot. It is Mon Amiche, I think it's pronounced, by Soviet France. I'm going to see if my camera focuses here, because it's kind of looking like shit. God damn it. There we go. Now this cover, it's a double record set. This thing is actually on pressboard. If you can see that. See how that is sort of tied together with twine? I do not own another record like this. And this is like silk screened on there or something like that. I don't know exactly what the process is, but a lot of care went into making these covers, and I actually got this relatively cheap a long time ago, but I haven't seen one in a long time. So this one's like a weird. It was introduced to me as like dark ambient, but that almost doesn't do it justice. It's more like menacing ambience. It's really. I'm not really much of an ambient guy for the most part, but Soviet France is a weird band. It's kind of something to hear, even if you don't dig it. It's one of those bands where it's kind of educational to hear what they sound like. All right, so that's 3. Number 4. This is a little less obscure, but it's one that I'm very proud of. It is Hawkwind, Warrior on the Edge of Time. And this is actually an original cover which folds out into a big shield. Can you see that? So I'm ready to like go fucking fight the orcs or something like that because I've got my Hawkwind record cover shield. See, it's even sort of die cut at the bottom there like that. It's fucking awesome. It's my Hawkwind record. And then I actually saved my personal favorite for last. Don't get me wrong, I love Hawkwind. All these records are good. I love Hawkwind. Actually, I love Soviet France too, and I love the other ones. But this is probably the best cover. This is by Flo de Cologne. This is an original of Profitgeier. These guys were like some like super left wing, like sort of cabaret band from Germany, and it kind of loses something if you don't know the German, but some of the humor and that sort of thing. But this is sort of a concept record, as they generally did, which is about, I don't know, profit vultures or something like that, I guess. But you see on the cover, it has the dead vulture. It's being stabbed. And the gimmick on this one is, if you see this little tab, you can actually pull out the vulture's guts. There's like a turn thing in there. You see that? So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't own another cover where there's a bird on it with guts that you could actually pull out. So this is a cool record. Probably my least favorite of the lot musically, but man, you can't beat that. So that's my 5 favorite gimmick record covers, these, along with a pig, of course. And I hope you enjoyed watching it. And thanks for putting up with my technical difficulties in the middle of the video. And congratulations again, Dave.